Streptococcus bacteria can cause a sore throat or skin infection. An illness called scarlet fever can also develop during an infection with this bacterium. Give 2 precautions a doctor should take when treating a patient who is infected with Streptococcus. So have a look. It can cause a sore throat and it can cause a skin infection. So you got to watch out for someone transferring it through coughing and also through direct touch. So the precautions should be centered around that. So firstly, avoid direct contact, wear gloves or wash hands after contact. So it's important that you're basically dealing with this issue here through transmission through skin. And wear a protective mask so if you cough, it's not passed on through droplets. From September 2013 to March 2014, there were 2,830 cases of scarlet fever in the UK. From September 2014 to March 2015, there were 5,943 cases of scarlet fever. Calculate the percentage increase in the number of cases of scarlet fever between the period of September 14 to March 2015 and September 2013 to March 2014. So we're trying to work out a percentage increase here. Now to do that, it's very simple. You work out the real difference between the 2 figures you're looking at. In other words, the difference between this figure and this figure, these 2 figures here, and you basically find the difference. So you can see here I've subtracted one from the other and the difference is 3,113. And then you divide it by the initial value. So we're trying to work out an increase in percentage. So the initial value will be the smaller one, the starting one before the increase. So that's this one here. So you do the difference divided by the original value. So 3,113 divided by 2,830 and times it by 100 to make the percentage. So we'll get an increase of 110%. That's absolutely fine. Don't be thrown by the fact that it's greater than 100%. Percentage increases can often be like this. They can be 400% and so on. So don't be thrown by that. It doesn't mean you've done it wrong. And you can check it makes sense. This figure is more than double this figure. So it has increased by this amount and some. Figure 10 shows some Streptococcus bacteria. Some bacteria are motile, meaning they can move themselves. Why is Streptococcus bacterium not motile? So if you look at the picture, you can see it doesn't have one really important feature that bacteria which can move have, and that is a tail or whip-like tail we call a flagella. So it does not have a flagella. Plasmids are irrelevant because plasmids are just little circles of DNA that you find inside bacteria cells, and that's what genetic engineers use to manipulate the genome of these bacteria to carry out genetic engineering. It does not have ribosomes. Ribosomes are just tiny organelles found in every single cell which manufacture proteins, and they do not have an acrosome. An acrosome is just part of a sperm cell at the front which contains protein digesting enzymes called proteases which help digest the egg's outer coating. Patients with scarlet fever can be treated with antibiotics. New antibiotics need to be tested before they can be used in patients, which is the correct sequence for the development of a new medicine. So this is about finding the sequence which minimizes risk. The most vulnerable people are the patients who are already ill, and if you give them bad medicine, their condition will be much worse. The lowest risk is to start off with cells. So we're looking at the ones which contain cells as the first step. So either this one or this one. Then we've got a choice now. Do we test on patients or healthy volunteers? Well, healthy volunteers are more likely to survive any sort of bad effect of medicine because their body's in better condition. So we want to go this route as it's less risky. And then finally, we go to double-blind trials on patients. A double-blind trial is when neither the doctor nor the patients know if they're receiving a medicine or a placebo. So you can compare the effects of the medicine meaningfully against a dummy pill.